Have you ever met someone and felt an instant, magnetic, almost fated connection? A feeling that you've known them forever, that they hold a missing piece of you. It's intoxicating, it's overwhelming, and very often it ends in confusion and heartbreak. You're left wondering, was any of that real? Who was I even in love with? Carl Jung had an answer, and it's far more profound than chemistry or compatibility. He said that within every man there lives an inner woman, and within every woman an inner man, not as a metaphor, but as a living, autonomous part of your psyche. He called these figures the Anima and the Animus. And this inner figure doesn't just influence your moods, it dictates who you fall in love with. It fuels your creativity. It holds the key to your soul. And if left unconscious, it will sabotage your life and your relationships from the inside out. Today, we're not just going to talk about a psychological theory. We're going to meet the ghost in your machine, the secret partner you've been searching for your whole life without realizing they live inside of you. Let's shatter a myth right now. This is not about getting in touch with your feminine side or your masculine energy. That's a shallow pop psychology misunderstanding. The anima, the inner woman in a man, and the animus, the inner man in a woman, are what Jung called archetypes. They aren't personality traits you develop. They are primordial images that exist in the deepest part of your mind, the collective unconscious. The collective unconscious is the part of your psyche that is not individual but universal. It's a psychic foundation that is identical in all men. Think of it as the psychological inheritance of humanity, full of ancient patterns and images. Where do they come from? So, what gives these archetypes their specific shape in your life? For a man, the anima. A man's anima is shaped first and foremost by his mother. Jung is very clear on this. The mother is the first feminine being with whom the man-to-be comes in contact. This initial, powerful experience creates the foundation of his inner feminine image. This is why a man's relationship with his mother so often sets the pattern for his future romantic relationships. This initial imprint is then colored and modified by every other significant interaction he has with women throughout his life: sisters, teachers, first loves, and cultural figures. For a woman, the animus. A woman's animus is shaped primarily by her father. He is her first experience of the masculine, setting the stage for her expectations and perceptions of all men. His influence often shapes her intellectual and spiritual aspirations. As Jung noted, when a daughter develops masculine traits for the purpose of creating a sphere of interest separate from her mother, the father complex also plays a considerable part. But here's the crucial part. The anima and animus are not just a scrapbook of memories. They are living psychic realities. Jung described an archetype as a pre-forming ability. It's like the axial system of a crystal, which, as it were, pre-forms the crystalline structure in the mother liquid, although it has no material existence of its own. It's an empty blueprint that gets filled in by your life experience. And because it's a living force, when we are unconscious of it, it doesn't lie dormant, it takes over. Jung called this takeover, possession. It's where a part of your unconscious hijacks your conscious personality, making you say and do things that feel foreign to you. Have you ever seen a man who is usually logical and steady suddenly become moody, sentimental, and irrationally emotional. Jung would say he's been possessed by his unconscious anima. Or a woman who is typically warm and receptive suddenly becomes rigid, argumentative, and ruthlessly opinionated. That's a possession by her unconscious animus. Jung described these negative states with stunning accuracy. When a man is in the grip of the anima, she is fickle, capricious, moody, uncontrolled, and emotional, sometimes gifted with demonic intuitions, ruthless, malicious, untruthful, double-faced, and mystical. The man becomes a puppet to his own hidden moods. When a woman is in the grip of the animus, he is obstinate, harping on principles, laying down the law, dogmatic, world-reforming, theoretic, word-mongering, argumentative, and domineering. She loses her connection to her own feelings and becomes a mouthpiece for cold, absolute opinions. This isn't just a bad mood, it's a total personality shift. It's when the puppet starts pulling its own strings. And the place this happens most destructively is in our relationships. Here is the secret to almost every failed romance you've ever had. You don't fall in love with a person. You fall in love with a projection of your anima or animus. You meet someone and they just happen to have the right hook for your inner image to hang on. Suddenly, this ordinary human being is transformed. They become a god or a goddess, the savior, the one who will finally complete you. You're not seeing them. You're seeing your own soul reflected in their eyes. Jung saw this constantly. A man projects his anima onto a woman who is so empty that a man is free to impute to them anything he fancies. He sees his own soul, his own potential for creativity and meaning in her. He doesn't realize he's worshipping a part of himself. A woman projects her animus onto a man who appears strong, decisive, and full of powerful knowledge. She feels an irresistible pull, believing he has the answers she lacks, not realizing that this powerful, knowing figure is a part of her own psyche. This is the magic of falling in love. But the magic always fades. Eventually, the real person shows up. They have flaws. They're not the perfect god or goddess of your projection, and the disappointment is crushing. You feel betrayed. You think they changed, but they didn't change. You just started seeing them for the first time. The projection has shattered, and now you're left standing in the rubble, facing a stranger. So how do you know you're caught in a projection? Instant infatuation. The connection feels immediate, magical, and larger than life. You feel like you've found your other half. Idealization. You see them as perfect, or you vastly overestimate their positive qualities. You ignore red flags because they don't fit the image. Compulsion and obsession. You can't stop thinking about them. Your happiness feels entirely dependent on their approval and presence. Bitter disappointment. When they finally act like a normal, flawed human, you feel personally betrayed and devastated. The fall from the pedestal is brutal. Every time this cycle repeats, it's your unconscious screaming at you to do one thing. Turn inward, to stop looking for your soul in another person and start the journey of meeting it within yourself. But this inner figure isn't just a saboteur. In fact, its potential for destruction is matched only by its potential for profound growth. The anima and animus are not problems to be solved. They are the very guides to the deepest parts of yourself. When a man begins to build a conscious relationship with his anima, She stops being a moody puppet master and becomes his muse. She connects him to his true feelings, to his creativity, to his capacity for relatedness, and gives him a spiritual receptivity which makes him responsive to revelation. She is his guide to the inner world. When a woman integrates her animus, he stops being a domineering critic and becomes her inner source of courage, clarity, and spiritual focus. He gives her lucidity, objectivity, and masculinity, allowing her to become a spiritual guide and advisor. He is her logos, her connection to meaning. The anima and animus, when made conscious, become the bridge between your ego and the vast, wise, and creative world of the collective unconscious. They are the key to what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming whole. So how do you do this? How do you move from being possessed by this figure to being in a conscious relationship with it? This is the real work. It is a path of radical self-honesty. Step 1. Withdraw the projection. Look at the person you've put on a pedestal, or the person you bitterly resent. Take out a piece of paper. On one side, list all the magical, perfect, or demonic qualities you've attributed to them. On the other side, write down who they are as a real, flawed human being. See the gap. That gap is the size of your projection. Step 2. Own the qualities. Look at the list of projected qualities. Now, ask the terrifying question, how is this a part of me? If you saw them as incredibly creative, where is your unlived creativity? If you saw them as powerfully assertive, where is your own suppressed voice? If you saw them as a cruel tyrant, where is your own inner critic? This is about taking back the energy you've been giving away. Step 3. Dialogue with the inner figure. Jung's technique of active imagination is crucial here. Sit quietly, close your eyes, ask your anima or animus to appear as a figure in your mind's eye. Don't force it. See who shows up. Then have a conversation. Ask them, who are you? What do you want from me? Why do you keep showing up in my life this way? Listen to the answers without judgment. Treat them as a real person. Step 4. Give it expression. The anima/animus needs to be given a life in the conscious world. Paint her. Write his words down. Give him a voice in your journal. Give her form through music or dance. By giving this archetype a creative outlet, you stop forcing real people to carry its weight. You build an inner relationship, which is the foundation for having a healthy outer one. Jung's work on the anima and animus reveals a profound truth. Every relationship you have is a mirror, but the most important one is the one you have with the other within. Until you face this inner figure, you will be doomed to seek it in others, to project your soul onto partner after partner, repeating the same cycle of intoxicating fantasy and bitter reality. But when you have the courage to turn inward, to withdraw the projections, and to build a real, conscious relationship with your own soul image, everything changes. You stop needing someone else to complete you because you are on the path to becoming complete within yourself. You can finally love a real, flawed human being because you are no longer asking them to be your God. This is the path to true partnership, to creativity, to meaning. It is the journey of coming home to your own soul. So I will leave you with this question. Who is the figure you keep meeting in every relationship? The hero, the victim, the artist, the tyrant? Look closely. They are not out there. They are in here, and they are waiting for you to finally turn around and say hello. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive. This work is not easy, but it is the most rewarding journey you can take. If this resonated, subscribe for more explorations into the depths of the psyche. We have much more content here that will help you integrate your shadows and truly learn to love yourself.